Guys, Boko here. Today I kind of want to talk to you about something known as the power creep. And the power creep is everywhere. It's not just in OPTC, but it's also in Dokkan Battle and all those other kind of mobile games and stuff like Pokemon. So basically any regularly updating kind of game, you're going to see something kind of like this. And so the power creep essentially is, when new content comes out and more content comes out, older stuff kind of gets pushed to the side while newer, more strong units or content is pushed to the forefront. So I kind of wanted in this video to really demonstrate the power of the power creep with these four teams that I made here. So we're going to go straight into it. So as you notice, I don't have any of the specials or any of the orbs that I usually would have for like strict damage calculation because that's not entirely what I am talking about or analyzing here. Now, first off, the first team we got here is the Gear Money team, Gear 4, the old face of Bandai, old face of the game. Now, you'd think that, him being Gear 4 and 6 plus to time skip Luffy of all units would make him like an evergreen, like never gonna expire. He's just gonna be that insane. But yeah, he's kind of fallen off in recent times, especially time skip Luffy. Both their teams just not being able to not do as much damage, but just be as effective as they used to be. So here we go. Starting off with Gear 4. He boosts the attack of fighters by 2.5. If you use King Kong, he boosts attack of 4 times instead, and then does damage reduction. So the reason why I constructed this team specifically, which isn't necessarily built just for damage, is because Sakapoko in his stream, I think like yesterday or a couple days ago, like right before New Year's, he was comparing this team to a Judge Dofi team trying to complete the Boa Forest. And he struggled with the Gear 4 team, didn't even beat it. And then with the Judge Dofi, kind of just sauced on that entire forest. So now I'm actually gonna pop all the specials and everything, and you'll see what's really going on here. So you see the damage now wraps up to 9 million, and you have the 56% damage reduction, probably from both units too. So it's a big damage reduction, and you're going to be like this for 3 turns. But here's the thing, like with most forests and most content, you kind of just burst 1, 2, maybe even 3 turns depending. And then all the like drawbacks are that your specials are gone. But Gear 4 makes sure to give you a super kind of debuff with him chaining himself for bind and despairing himself for 7 turns. Now with the socket it goes down to 4 turns, but yeah, that's hard to recover from. I mean, if you burst right, then you kind of just stall, then it's fine. But it's like it's not as optimal. Like it makes sense for the character, but it's kind of like an unnecessary kind of debuff. Although I guess for balancing sake, I guess it is. But with these other teams that I'm about to show you, the more recent teams, then that kind of debuff ends up looking silly. But you'll see, but without using the gear. Oh, well, that's the thing. No captain actions. It's on the damage calculator. Captain action counts for the Gear 4 special. But as you see, no Gear 4 special, you're hitting 4 million. And with both Gear 4 specials, oh, right, hitting 9.5 mil. Now, this is a really good burst. Don't get me wrong. This damage is really good, even still. But the thing is, you're using 5 specials to achieve this damage. You're using both Gear 4s. You're using Koala, using Sabo, and using this guy to achieve this amount of damage. Which, if you're like in the end of a forest or an end of a run or something, and you pop all the specials and you beat it, well, good for you. You don't need the specials anymore. But in terms of content like forests or stuff where they revive or kind of just in theory, then 5 specials isn't really, that optimal. Now, granted, you may not ever need a burst this strong, especially because there's no kind of Dofi special. But I mean, what I'm really just trying to get at is that like getting your optimal damage with this many specials is kind of a pain. And then you can only save so many specials too. Like if you get rid of if you get rid of one Gear 4, I mean you're gonna be you're gonna be like set. Maybe save the Koala special or the Sabo special. I mean, it's depends on what you need really. But without specials and without orbs, then just regular attacking like you would normally do in a forest or anything else, then I mean it's gonna be hard. You are probably going to struggle. And the thing too is that you don't really get orb manipulation, or you get taught a lot of orb manipulation. Actually, don't get me wrong, but not necessarily perfect orb manipulation. It's still kind of has some holes, some flaws, but I mean, for being Gear Money, and for being as old as he is, he's still fire. And a similar kind of thing here with the time skip Luffy. Now I know that these captains kind of work the same here, but it's the same. It's the same principle anyway. It doesn't really matter just as long as I have an old school captain or old school team. I could even hold up. I could even put up a Zoro team and kind of show the same thing. Here, I'm just gonna whatever max damage, but you see here, you kill an enemy like normal damage here without any specials is extremely weak. Like you take a look at Gear Money, that's pretty decent numbers for no specials, but like here you have a special for orb manipulation, but what I'm trying to get at is here like yeah these captains and these teams were good back in the day and they're still relatively effective depending on the content, but if you take a look at the newer teams, say maybe this team, then the kind of the difference here really shows. Now, what Judge does is he boosts by 9.3 or goodness no 3.9 times damage with the matching orb and rainbow team, and then 3.9 for 6 driven and matching orb. And the thing is with the team and the captain abilities and everything, you are basically getting a matching orb every single turn. Like basically getting all matching orbs all the time with this team. It's pretty insane. So, you can see the damage ramps up significantly because each orb boosts your damage by 2 times. So that's a really sneaky implicit way of boosting a team's damage. So here, this is what kind of like a normal turn is gonna look like, and you're doing 3 million damage compared to like 1 mil or 600 or whatever that Lucy team or time skip Luffy team was hitting for. Like a million. And then we're gonna try and get max damage here real quick. So Vinsmoke for the 2 times orb boost, and Shiki for the 1.75. You're doing 11 million damage, and to int, mind you, and that's it's a lot of excess damage. But the thing about that is that Dofi, he feeds off of overkill damage, and so you go into like a boss stage with a bunch of units, and you go all out, and you overkill. and then you move on to the next stage, maybe the boss stage, use Dofi. Or like the next stage might be a princess turtle stage, and you just wreck house. It's really effective, and uh, it makes good use of like you don't need 11 million damage like 80% of the time, but it's more strategic, or you can actually utilize it more with like a Dofi, and you're starting to see like smarter like specials, more unique specials, or like more adapted, I guess. I don't know what you know what I'm trying to say, hopefully, but you know what? This team can operate as a just whack things and you'll mostly kill it. But as you saw, it only took 2 specials to get optimal damage. Or like Cavendish, you can just pop that and you get very similar numbers. And you still have 1, 2, you have the rest of the specials. And like you're hitting for these numbers with just minimal specials, and that saves the rest of the specials on your team for like orb manipulation, like G orbs, and then full orb manipulation, or removing or delaying and removing stuff, and whatever the Dofi overkill stuff. So you can build smarter teams while still hitting like really hard, like harder than the old teams. And just the limit of the Dofi and Judge and Cavendish are limit broken, but that's just a little side note. So that's what the power creep is, because this is like a new team. And granted, you could put a Dofi in here, and you'd probably hit even harder. Okay, maybe not. Maybe actually not. But okay, that wasn't so smart. But that's what I'm trying to get at here. That with time, and I guess it is kind of logical that like with time and harder content and wailing out, that uber strong teams and units and synergies would come about. And that's just trying to display that like in a tangible way. And then lastly, I kind of have this Lucy team 1.3, like without any orbs, but with Lucy, this might exaggerate it, but it's gonna look like this quite a bit at the time. So really like 2.6 mil, like just whacking stuff, and then you get to use all these specials and just really hit for a lot. But same thing kind of applies. You don't really need the extra damage boosters. And granted, this team has kind of been optimized to boost as much as possible, but long story short, you can really afford more utility units with these sorts of teams than you could with these teams. And that is the power creep. So thank you so much for getting through my ranting and my lack of articulation of sentences. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm Sekapoko, and I am out. Peace. One Piece. Haha.